How to pre-screen tenant buyers. Good morning, everyone. Gil here from your Wholesaling, Lease Options, and Marketing Mastermind group. A big good morning to you guys. If you can see me on the screen, go ahead and confirm via the GoToWebinar control panel. If you can hear me clearly, definitely would appreciate the heads up as well. You should be able to see my screen here. Go ahead and confirm that. This morning, we're going to recap a couple things that we've covered this week. Some of you guys are just jumping on our very first session here for the week, and it's already Friday, so happy Friday, everyone. You are coming into a series where we've talked about landing pages, squeeze pages, and setting up capture mechanisms on your website to allow leads and motivated homeowners to opt in, enter their information so that they can do business with you, set up an appointment for consultation, or go ahead and fill out your marketing agreements and contracts online, right? Some of you guys really like the idea with the whole time trade, and I think it's exceptionally useful, especially for those of you that are on an extremely limited schedule with regards to real estate, whether that's by choice or you do have a full-time job that's currently keeping you preoccupied. So definitely take a look at the time trade option. A big good morning to everyone, especially to our regulars. Thanks, Matthew. Thanks for the heads up. Tim says good. We got Mr. Rudolph on the session here this morning. Just in case if you guys didn't know, Anthony Rudolph is going to be taking a lead role here in the group, making sure all of our forum members get access, to our morning sessions. They're aware that we have these training sessions, and if you have any questions with regards to our marketing packages or services, if you're interested in partnering up and doing deals locally, whether it's in my backyard or in another virtual market, some of you investors are looking for other territories where your marketing budgets would be more effective and allow you to get a healthy return on your investment and a whole lot more. Right, so we do have virtual markets that we've been farming, testing, and actively doing deals in. In the last quarter, well, 2013's last quarter, we went into, I would say, about 15 markets simultaneously and just launched direct mail, pay-per-click, Craigslist, a little bit of a mix, some more stacked in some marketing channels, others were focused solely on just maybe one or two lead sources, and from that chaos have emerged our the markets that have made the cut. We've been able to do deals and monetize it, and so we are looking for other joint venture partners, or at least extending an invitation to those of you that are actively seeking these virtual markets. A couple people were also inquiring about group coaching and our mentorship program. Bill Rafter currently has slots available in his program. He, like many of the high-end one-on-one type of educators, take a different approach to their mentorship and training programs, where they do build out a custom schedule and program that specifically fits and suits your needs. Most programs out there that I've seen are specifically tailored and scheduled to fit the lifestyle that the consultant, the guru, or the other educator is looking to have, and so that's perfectly okay. I mean, if you can make your time work for you, I just think if you are, if you're committing, 3-6 months, a full year, and a sizable marketing budget and capital for that type of program. I think I was at RIA Group, an event, and they had a nice little, they had slides on there comparing different coaching programs, and I think, what was it? It was some advisors. I forget the name of the company. They had one of those French-sounding names, but it's a real estate-based educational company. It's like 30-40 grand. It's like a degree, and I think they even have like a full-on university, right? And so to those that have the luxury and the ability to spend that type of capital and devote that time and fly in, fantastic. But you do have other options available. Please contact Bill Rafter via Facebook or get in touch with myself, Steve Clutch, who is active in the forums, and Mr. Anthony Rudolph as well. So if you guys can't get a hold of me, which I think is pretty rare, I mean, you know where I show up 9 a.m. Monday through Friday, and you guys do, most of you already have access to me via email or have been coordinating via text message. And so just so you guys know who Anthony is, want to introduce everybody to Anthony. He is here in the forum. Do add him into your Facebook network so that once again, if you need a response, if you got a question on our marketing, or if you're looking for, hey, where's the link for this, where's the link for that, Anthony's going to be helping out here with our members, making sure that you guys know where the training is. He can point you in the direction of where the contracts are, or find out if you're interested in a joint venture market where we can partner with you and do deals locally. Okay, so this is him right here. He's got a nice Superman logo. I'm guessing it's because he's got 10 kids, and it does take a superhuman being to raise and have a family of that size. So, fist bump to you, Anthony. My hat, I tip my hat to you, my friend. That is just awesome and fantastic. All right, so if you guys have any urgent questions, feedback, clarifications, go ahead and type it in the GoToWebinar control panel. If it's a business as usual kind of day and you're strapped in for training, pull out a pen and pad, and we're going to jump right into our content here after our updates. Okay, so what did we review this week? Allow me to walk you through it. That way you can you can get caught up, you can zero in on certain videos, and I'll brief you on what's going on, especially if this is the first time you're hanging out with us here, okay? So we talked about squeeze pages this week, landing pages, and ninja capture mechanisms, right? The more fishing lines and hooks you have when you go fishing, the higher your likelihood to catch something on that fishing trip. And so we apply that simple concept when it comes to online and internet marketing. We talked about how to have effective squeeze pages, the psychology and the mindset that I follow when I design these squeeze pages, and simple is better, right? Clear, direct to the point, because it allows you to build more effective campaigns, and you don't have a million variables that you're tweaking to increase your optimization. You just have 3 main things to focus on your particular squeeze pages. I also talked about different tools that you can use that vary in price points, from your free option all the way up to your high-end premium price points. We broke down the squeeze pages. I talked about that one in this particular series, the 4-step process and my conversion rates, along with the type of results that you can achieve, or that the standards, in terms of the results you can expect and should aim for. Name and email is a great place to start. Once you master that, you can start designing squeeze pages and capturing more information from your sellers, which will include their personal situation, details about their finances, multiple forms of contact information, and whatever variables or pre-screening info you need in order to move or qualify that particular lead. Some people in this forum like to focus 100% on wholesaling. Others are in the business that focus just on traditional retail. Right? Regardless of what investing strategy you're using, these marketing concepts can apply and help you increase your overall lead generation. So the last post that I did here this morning was about embedding, capture mechanisms in your websites, different places where you can put them. You're not limited by just one pop-up asking for a name and email or a static squeeze page, right? You can integrate this into your overall website to allow people to opt in, get your information, or give them the opportunity to call you directly or receive an offer or an estimate. Okay. This morning I am working on our file for the tenant buyer joint venture pipeline. Our wholesaling assignment fees on this pipeline is going to range anywhere from 2 to 5,000 to the marketer, to the wholesaler, to the agent, to whoever we're partnering with on these particular transactions. In yesterday's replay, I walked you through step by step on how you can set up these lead magnets and funnels where tenant buyers can enter their information, respond to you, and you can start to build a healthy tenant buyers list for your lease options pipeline, your retail pipeline, or if this isn't something that you're directly applying in your business, we are. So from placing these free ads on Craigslist, it allows you to monetize your activity. And if you find yourself sitting at the end of the day or sometime in the day where you're not on the phones talking to sellers, then keep yourself busy by generating and putting out marketing pieces to get the phone to ring so that you can start talking to sellers and pre-screening your tenant buyers. And yes, there is a way to monetize this by partnering with us, or you can, if you can keep and use these leads, then you'd simply be applying it there to your business. Now, I want to continue this series and build on it, since you're going to be getting calls, you're going to be getting emails, people responding saying, hey, I'm interested in this property, or I'm interested in a property that, in a property that we can transition into home ownership, or I saw your little rent-to-own ad and it looks like, you guys offer this strategy. So people are going to start responding to it, right? I recommend posting your tenant buyer lead magnets on a Friday, Monday, Wednesday, and a Friday. Okay, that's when I post, or I have our teams post their tenant buyer lead magnets on Craigslist. There are other websites you can do this. You can put the pipeline on steroids and increase your the number of leads you capture by using tools like vflyer.com, so that you post not just on one site but on multiple sites, right? And that would allow you to generate more leads and more phone calls. Now, couple things, if in case you weren't on yesterday's session or you missed out on some of the tips, you want to have a separate tracking phone number so that you can test and get an idea of how many people are calling you and track it effectively. And also to allow you to, if in case, especially on your joint ventures, you can hold your joint venture partner accountable, or you have a track record of all the calls so that there's no confusion on who brought in the lead. Okay. Once again, if you are building out this pipeline and you're planning to partner with us, you need to have a conversation with Steve Clutch so that he can assign a specific territory to you, and that way it maximizes your exposure, and we don't have 100 people posting in one little area when we could be posting in 100 different territories at the same time, right? So definitely set up your tracking numbers and your info. Last but not the least, what else did we? Yeah, so we'll have this particular video up and running, and if you guys are good with that, no clarifications, we'll go ahead and jump into the pre-screening for today's today's training session. Cool. All right. Let me just check one more thing here. Oh, Gil, when do we post the Property Scout or the Bird Dog recruiting ad? I recommend posting that on a Tuesday and a Friday evening, right? So if you're posting Monday, Wednesday, Friday lead magnet ad, I would make the adjustment and do Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. And Friday would be your Bird Dog or your Property Scout recruiting ad. These are basically people that's going to send you vacant properties, drive-by properties, boarded up homes, or specific criteria, specific type of property that you're sending these people out to find and be on the lookout for, right? So I would give more priority to the Property Scout ad or the Bird Dog ad as opposed to the lead magnet. if I were to pick on one of those days. Okay, so what do you do when you start getting emails and phone calls about the rent-to-own ad that you had placed? Mr. Steve Clutch has been so kind as to put together a script based on the pre-screening that we do for our tenant buyers. Now, a couple of things I want to make sure you guys know. Focus on great customer service and building rapport and trust. If you are just getting started out, it's okay to be a little bit nervous. The more you practice this conversation, do practice pitching, with yourself in front of a mirror while you're in the shower, or find an investor or somebody else in the forum or the group that you can bounce and interact with, practicing overcoming objections and answering these questions. When I first got started out, I also used flashcards with common questions and objections, and then I would just drill through the flashcards so that I could respond to these questions faster and have a good, I didn't want to sound like it was scripted, but I at least wanted to demonstrate that, I've taken the time to learn my craft. I know what the common questions are and come up with a response to allow the lead to move forward and still build trust at the same time. A lot of the questions they're going to have aren't very technical. And you're going to be getting about 3 to 5 common questions once you start getting in the swing of things, right? Yeah, I got that one too, Bill. The tenant buyer pre-screening script. Okay, so what are you going to say to these tenant buyers as they come in or as they start calling you, right? So this is the guide conversation that Steve uses. Hi, this is Clutch. I got your message about the home we had you had advertised. Sorry, I'm thinking like seller script. Hi, this is Clutch. I got your message about the home we had advertised. Are you still looking for a lease option home? Okay. Other ways you can ask this is, hi, this is Gil. I got a phone call or an email about a property that we currently have available on a rent with an option to buy. Okay. Are you still in the marketplace looking for a new home or a property? I will focus on using the word home because that tends to connect better with somebody that is transitioning into home ownership. A tenant buyer or a lead that keeps using rental, chances are they're just looking for a rental property and it's not a good fit for a rent-to-own home program or lease purchase program, and that's okay. All right. Instead, we'll do a deal where they will get placed into a rental property. So we'll put them in the right strategy that fits them. But I like to use home so that I connect and I continue to make clear what the program is about. And it allows the people who are genuinely looking for a home and transitioning into home ownership to really build on that foundation and concept. Now we continue going on here. Were you looking for a property just to rent, right? Or are you looking to transition into home ownership, right? So that adds on that extra layer. It kicks it up a notch, establishes the tone before you continue talking to them for another 5, 10, or 15 minutes, right? You at least want to verify that. Then you're going to go ahead and ask them, are you familiar with how a rent-to-own works? Okay? I'll give you some basic points just so you get an idea. And as always, okay, we would love to meet with you personally so we can get a better feel, for what you're looking for and how we can better serve you. You want to stress on that part that you would love to meet with them or that we would love to meet with them. Obviously, if you are in North Carolina, you won't be able to meet with these tenant buyers. It's our local acquisition managers and our local staff that's going to be meeting with these homeowners. But you want to stress on that. It builds trust. It's a great hook, and it connects better with somebody that's serious about doing business. Right? We want to let them know we can meet with them in person. We're ready to meet with them today if they'd like to meet today, right? So you want to be able to pass on that type of urgency and that layer of service, okay? Are you familiar with how the rent-to-own works? Now, if they're not, okay, here's how we explain it. Okay, it's basically, leasing a home for a few years and then buying it at the end of the lease. Hold on one second. Somebody's typing something about the fan. It's a little bit warmer. Let me turn it down. 1 second. Test, test, mic test. I may have missed the link. Can you post the Google Doc link to the script? Sure thing, Anthony. I'm typing it in. I'm replying to your question and I'm sending it to everybody. So, guys, if you need to access this script, we're going to Anthony, if you can upload it in the forum. In the file section, that would be fantastic. Kind of get you into the swing of things and overseeing the group's forum and taking care of everybody here in the group. Everybody say awesome, Anthony. And you can also get it from the link there. Okay, so basically it's leasing a home for a couple years and then buying it at the end of the lease. There is money that is put down up front, or an option deposit is paid, and it goes towards the purchase price of the home. You also typically get a certain percentage of your rent back when you buy the house. From every month you pay your rent on time. Does that make sense? So struggled a little bit on here. This is a customized. Steve's got it worded so that it flows easily for him. But let me repeat that one, right? Okay, so it's basically leasing a home for a couple of years and then buying it at the end of the lease. There's money that's put down up front, okay, which goes towards the purchase price of your home. Okay, you also typically get a certain percentage back every month that you pay your rent on time. So there's some added bonus benefits as well. Does that make sense? Or I'll use transition lines like so far so good. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask me now. Once again, Steve or Mary, this may be new information. Just let me know if anything is not clear, if you have any particular questions. I'm going to make sure to send you an overview of how the program works, and we'd also love the opportunity to sit down with you so that we can address some of your questions and concerns. Focus on transitioning and attempting to move them forward, because that would give you clues as to how serious, how motivated, and how ready to take action they are. And it's a good metric to keep note of for your skill set, because now you're getting good at call to actions, moving your leads forward, and you're comfortable doing that. A lot of people struggle with quote unquote taking control of the conversation, and in reality, your lead would perceives you with a higher value if you give them options and allow them to move forward with you in a way that's not dominating, okay? But you do have to demonstrate, here is the next step, okay? Are we ready to do this together? Or, would you like to come into the office today? Would you like to come into the office tomorrow? Right? And when you're working in a hyper-competitive marketplace, these are the little things that's given us the slight edge to allow us to do business with these leads and muscle out the competition. At the end of the day, you know what? They just like us better, right? So focus on the awesome customer service, okay? So, does that make sense? So far, so good. Any questions so far? You wait to hear what they say. All right. Now, our homes go, these homes go fast, right? So we may not have any homes in our inventory right now that meet your criteria, but we do have a custom home finder program where we can look for a home that meets your needs. Now, a little bit of a disclosure and disclaimer there. You want to make sure you're working with licensed agents and brokers so that they can fulfill this portion of your offer or pitch, okay? That's generally the best practice when it comes to that. Some markets have, how do you say, very active associations and real estate groups, and they take it very seriously that you have to be licensed in your area to practice real estate. And the definition of practice just depends on your local marketplace in terms of what's covered in it or not. We do use a licensed agent, which allows us to fulfill this portion of this offer. That's why we say, hey, wide open territory. These agents love working with us, so you guys are in a great position to start funneling and pre-screening and moving these types of leads and deals forward. Okay, so do stress on that. This applies exceptionally to those that are applying the strategy where you are using it as a lead magnet and you're not advertising a specific property under contract yet. Okay, because they're going to be calling about the home that we advertised yesterday. There wasn't any particular property we were referring to. We were building a list of tenant buyers in that particular area, right? So we set the expectation and address that as opposed to it popping up. Let them know, right? Now, we like to deal with each tenant buyer on a close basis, be able to help you to transition into home ownership. This may be the perfect property you're looking for. Just so you know, we also have other properties available. They do go fast, right? So we want to make sure we get an accurate description, or we get a good idea for what you're looking for and the time frames, so we can help you transition into your next home, right? And then we'll continue on here. Do you mind if I ask you a few more questions? Okay. Other ways that I've asked this question is, is now a good time? Okay. And if you noticed earlier, I just built up on that. We want to make sure, we find your dream home, transition into the home, that you and your family would love and enjoy. There are other properties that do go on the market and are available, so there are some options, right? Definitely would like to get to know what you're looking for, so that we can, we can line up the right properties for you, or our tenant buyer specialist or our agent will be able to better help and serve you, and we'll find some, we do have somebody that specializes in different areas, neighborhoods, and communities. Okay, then you're going to go on and continue here in the guide conversation. Do you mind if I ask you a few more questions? How did you find out about us? Craigslist, Bandit Sign, ForSaleByOwner.com, Zillow.com. How soon do you need to move? Okay, were you looking for something within the next 30, 60, 90 days? I'm always fishing for the tenant buyer, the lead that is ready to do business in 30 days or less. But I am open to leads that maybe it's a 60, 90, or 180 days from now they will do business, right? If you have a nice CRM tool like Podio.com, you can effectively manage multiple leads without it taking up too much of your time or you being scatterbrained. And again, these are courtesy calls about once a month, 5 to 10 minutes with each lead. So it can be done in a short amount of time, and you can definitely maximize your efficiency. How soon do you need to move? When I ask these type of time-sensitive urgency questions, I'll always set them up and let them know. Again, each homeowner, each tenant buyer is different and unique. We want to make sure we work on a time frame that works for you. If you're looking for something right away, I definitely want to note the urgency so that we can help you meet those tight deadlines. We've done it before, so but if you're in the situation where you can wait a little bit and stay in the marketplace, or really shop around for that perfect property or that dream home that you guys were looking for, just let me know, right? Tell me, talk to me, right? What home did you call about? If you're doing multiple ads, what kind of home are you looking for? Area, number of bedrooms, baths, etc. And then you're going to get to the numbers question, right? So at this point, you want to make sure you've built enough rapport, you understand their situation, if they are moving from a smaller to a big home, you understand, a little bit about their background and story. Maybe you can share, something fun, or, find a way to connect with them, over the phone, because they're going to tell you what their situation is early over here, especially, once you ask about transitioning into home ownership. Right, you're going to hear stories of why they're ready, how they've come about to be ready, that they've been shopping around. So you want to make sure you've built some rapport and have a nice little interaction going on, because you're going to start to ask about numbers, right? Now, what's the most you'd pay for rent? What are you comfortable with? That's one way to ask it. I always like to ask number questions in the form of a range, right? Now, most tenant buyers that have been shopping around or transitioning into home ownership have a certain dollar amount in mind, right? Or they have a budget that they'd like to stick with. After all, we all got to be smart nowadays with our budgets, right? Now, that's what I love about the rent-to-own program, or a lease with an option to buy, is that instead of settling for another apartment for the next 2 years, right, where all your rent goes down the drain, you could be moving into your dream home, or you could be moving to the house that you and your family is looking for, right, and at a budget that works for you. So what was that ballpark range, right? You don't have to give me an exact number, again, just a range so that we can narrow down our search and line up, the right properties that would make a good fit for you, right? We're not that we want to make sure it's something that fits the budget, right? There's so many companies out there that just stacking and filling homes. We like to take a different approach. Different transition lines and statements you can use in your conversation and build upon. Okay, Steve likes to just ask it. For him it's easier. His style he's more comfortable with the direct stuff. What's the most you want to pay for rent? What are you comfortable with, right? So play around with that. Okay, in case another property comes up with a higher rent, right? So he's doing a rehash here or an upsell, right? In case there's another property with a higher rent. That is something you would is that something that you would want to see? That way, because most of the numbers people will give you the first couple times you ask around, some people are pretty savvy. They've been around the block. They know not to go their maximum offer. They start middle so that in the negotiations process they can come up a little bit and participate in that kind of interaction. Are there people that will just drop the bomb and tell you this is my bottom line? Sure, that happens, but you want to get good at building trust and rapport. That's really the skill set that you are focusing on here, especially if you're brand new. That's the first thing that we really build upon with a newbie investor or a new person getting started in the business in their first 30 days. Okay. Now you're going to continue and build on the numbers questions. Most of our buyers have funds set aside for a down payment or an option deposit. The minimum option deposit does vary. It's usually around $3,000 to $5,000 depending on the purchase price, or if you're doing deals in a high market or a high price point area, it's usually about 3 to 5% of the purchase price. They do vary. It's unique from property to property. So they get an idea of what are some of the things that might come up, but they're not getting boxed into a situation where they'll say, no, I don't want that, right? Or no, 3,000 can't do it, 5,000 can't do it. We always give them that option where there are other options and programs available. Let's have a conversation if you're genuinely sincere. That's the message I'm trying to get across to the lead that I'm talking to. The option deposit goes towards the purchase price of the home, and there isn't a security deposit, so all you need to move in is the first month's rent and the option deposit. Now, some of the deals that you will be structuring or that we do require a security deposit. Some homeowners want half of of their traditional security deposit. It varies. Again, modify the script so that it applies to the market that you're doing deals in or the joint venture partner that you are doing these deals with. Okay, so how much do you have available? Or what are you thinking of putting down towards a property? I use the Jones effect here, if you guys notice, right? Most tenant buyers that are ready to transition into home ownership already have an option deposit that they've thought about or are setting aside about 3 to 5%. Right? That way they know the Joneses are doing it. It's okay. They got to do it too. That's standard industry practice. They're not getting shocked. And again, if they've already thought about buying or going into home ownership, they know that there is a down payment. So there's nothing funky on there. You want to make sure that is clear. Now, we also have a down payment assistance program. Need to be approved to see the doc. Can you approve the doc? Sure thing. And once you upload it into the forum, do let us know so we can lock the document. And we can lock the document so that it's a members only scenario. We did the whole joint venture pipeline yesterday, and then Steve calls me and he goes, Steve goes, are we offering this to like the entire webinar list, or is this just going to go to the group coaching students? I was like, you know what? I didn't even think about that. I was just so excited about building this pipeline out. We just rolled it out to everybody. So, definitely our group members do get some additional perks. And for those that were on the webinar yesterday, hey, you guys got a nice little perk coming your way too. Steve, I just missed your messages on there. I hope the mic's better placed right now, right? Awesome. Okay, so let's continue on here, right? We also have a down payment assistance program available. If you don't have the full amount, that's okay, right? Each homeowner is different on their scenario or their situation. What's the number that you're comfortable with? Now, we do set a minimum on these transactions and on these deals. That way, you're not you're not spending your time on a deal that would not pay you out, or there's no upside or monetary value in it. If you're just getting started, yes, I understand that you definitely want to make money fast, but you have to focus on being, pre-screening effectively, lead generation and marketing. There's a few steps before you get talking to sellers, making offers, that you have to master. It's a step-by-step process, and if you skip steps 1, 2, 3, it doesn't matter about step 4 and 5, right? Because you haven't even done step 1, 2, 3. So don't beat yourself up over it. If you're not seeing immediate success, be patient. One of our group coaching students was talking to 5 sellers on her lunch break, and I think she's got like 2 pre-screened leads. So again, practice your craft, make the calls, do the marketing so that you are in a position to start pre-screening leads, and focus on that one before you beat yourself up over, I'm not making any offers or structuring any deals. Now, we do like to set a minimum. Our minimum is 2,000. This is just something we keep in mind as we have the conversation with the seller, right? Now, again, Steve's a very direct guy. What's the most you can come up with now? If you're not comfortable asking that, or if you feel that the seller's kind of close-guarded or is not it's a bit of a heavy-handed question, right, or a loaded question, then ease up a little bit, right? You can ease up and get a range, right? So in terms of a down payment, what were you currently comfortable with putting down now, or have you given that some thought, or is that something that you would be interested in? Right, a down payment assistance program. And then you're also going to move forward. So it starts to get a little bit heavier and heavier in terms of the quality of the information, right? Especially the numbers. How's your credit? Ballpark number, right? Some of our, if it's the first time you're considering, transitioning into home ownership, a lot of the tenant buyers we deal with have credit challenges. And I let them know that. Right? It's a sensitive spot for some people. Some people are kind of ashamed by it, or they don't want to share that kind of stuff, or they made some mistakes in the past, but they're definitely working on repairing and fixing things, right? So I let them know, right? A lot of our tenant buyers today, they'd make a great fit for home ownership, but there may have been something that they had in their credit that's dinged it. A credit card that you opened when you were back in college, and there was that rinky-dink mall card or something random, right? Or some cases of identity theft, or maybe we've got tenant buyers that just hit a rough spot, medical issues, financial challenges. Now, regardless of the situation, again, that's what I love about this program. It's customizable, it allows you to transition into home ownership, and it's a win-win for all parties. How's the credit doing these days, right? Is it something you've guarded, or is that something we need to address, or that you'd like some assistance with? Okay. We'll take it further here in California. We find that we definitely have to ask this question as part of the pre-screening. Any bankruptcy or foreclosures we're trying to overcome, right? You want to keep in mind that at this point, you definitely want to keep it within like a 3 years or less type of time frame. You're like, sweet. What's your schedule like? When would you be available to take a look at the property? If you notice, again, it follows that structure. You're always closing your conversations with a clear call to action. Join my list. Send you a template, send you a marketing agreement, send you the contract, send you an overview, follow-up call, next appointment, call to action. You got to keep it moving forward. You just don't want to leave the lead sitting there thinking what's going to happen next. Move it forward to a close. Resolve it. It's either dead, follow-up, or already doing business with you. Right? So until it's dead and they never want to talk to you again, follow up, do a courtesy call. All right? Okay, great. Let me see what I can do for you and get back to you, when I can. Normally we'll be able to get back to you, if not today, within a 24-hour notice. Now that I've got some possible times for you as well, I'll go ahead and keep that in mind. For those of you that we are joint venturing with on these particular pipeline of deals, we will be giving you windows where you can book and schedule and set an appointment with these tenant buyers so that your leads can be processed in a timely manner. And again, everything is tracked in a CRM tool. We use Podio so that you can see the progress of your leads and where it stands. Okay, if it hasn't been, if you don't get a response or a status update within 24 hours, you have the ability to contact and say, hey, did we miss the ball on this lead, or where, what's the status? But that way you are ensured that they are moving forward. Okay. Now it says here, is this the best number to call you back on? Is there like an email that I can get just in case I can't reach you over the phone? Do you have another phone number that I can reach you, or any other best contact info? Right now, you mentioned your husband gets off work late. What's the best number to reach him? Right? Or, do you have an email that I can, if I can't reach you over the phone, I don't want to bug you, I'll just shoot you a courtesy email saying, hey, this is Gil. I just want to let you know I left you a voicemail, or couldn't leave a voicemail, but do call back when you can. All right? Other smooth flowing ways that you can keep a lead moving forward. They understand why you're asking these, some of these sensitive information questions, which really, it's not a big deal, and don't make it one. You're going to log into Podio, make sure that all of this information that you've pre-screened and entered goes inside of Podio, so that we can effectively work the leads and move them forward and do a deal. Okay. I'm just going to try to open the link right now if I can. Nope, can't do it. Here we go. Okay, so we've updated the link. I took a look at this myself yesterday, wanted to clarify it a little bit more. You want to make sure you enter who generated the lead. So Anthony, if this is you, enter it here. Mary, put Mary, put your first name, last name, and your phone numbers. That way, again, we want to make sure we track it effectively. Okay, tenant buyer first name, tenant buyer last name, best phone number. So really, our team has this form open in front of them, and they'll go through the conversation. And if you notice, the questions are arranged in a sequence that makes sense. It flows. It starts with the easy peasy questions before it goes into the ones that are a little bit more technical or have to deal with some numbers or sensitive information, right? If there's any pushback that you get during the call, I'm just here to help you. The more information that I can get from you, the better I can help you getting into a home. Right? We also do get a lot of, sometimes I'll do the California roll or the Philly fade, where I'll take a step back and you know what? Sounds like I caught you at a bad time. I'm sorry about that. Or, it sounds like you're in the middle of something. Should I call you back later? Or is it easier for you if you just call me back afterwards? That's okay too, right? So that way, it snaps them out of their current zone or whatever they're thinking in their head, and so that they can focus on you. Right? Because some people, again, they may be caught up in things. Be a little bit patient, right? And use this as a transition line or as a response when you get somebody that's a little bit hesitant or it sounds like they're distracted. Okay? Sometimes I just throw that out there just to practice it and get comfortable doing that. Right? To allow a seller, to allow a lead to have a quality conversation with me and to focus. Okay? All right. So with that in mind, Mr. Anthony, Gil O says thank you for making sure the script goes up in there. Tony Wade, we built the credit restoration in our program. That is great to hear, man. I mean, we've been talking about building in that. We require it as part of our program. It's just a better way to do business. You're taking care of your tenant buyers, and you're not putting together any shoddy or deals that are a little bit shaky. Can you do deals on houses that are junker properties? Yes, you can. You're just not going to structure it the same way you would a tenant buyer in a perfectly good home. There are ways that you can do deals on upside down properties, on properties that are quote unquote junkers. You would just have to structure it differently, right? And the nice thing about building in a credit repair program, you can get some killer marketing and referral fees or affiliate fees from a credit repair company. The best offer that I've seen out there are the ones that have the audacity and the stones. If we don't get you X credit score, you don't pay us a thing. Guess what? You don't even pay us anything up front. We'll work with you for 6 months. I'm just like, man, now that is a guarantee. That is a killer offer. I will take you up on that any day. And so find those companies because they do have affiliate programs built in. You want to have a virtual company that can assist your tenant buyers, and you also want to have someone that's local. All right, if you're building these out. We've done the hard work for you. We have somebody locally. We have a nationwide vendor. And these guys can move into the homes of their choice that fit their dreams, provided it it matches their situation. Great to hear, Tony. I need to be approved. Okay, prove that. Anthony's here. Just to confirm, am I posting the Google Doc in the timeline, not the notes? I'll walk you through that right now. Anthony, you might be at work or out and about. I know you, I'd imagine family man of 10's got some stuff to do in the morning. And you're going to go inside of the forum, okay? You're going to go inside of the forum, and you will upload it in the files section of our Facebook forum. Okay, Facebook forum, and you're going to upload it up in here, right? We have an agent and dealing with local licensed professionals, a pre-screening and a guide conversation you can follow on there. And we've got some other fun ones on here too. So this is where you're going to upload it. And thanks so much for helping out. And this is a great way for you to, again, build your authority, build your network, and put some value out there in the community. So awesome. So Anthony says he's got it. Cool. Can a virtual assistant do that? Yes, they can. If they're well trained, they can perfectly handle that conversation. I have this conversation. Our VAs have these conversations. Our investor have similar conversations. This is a guide for you, okay? A template that you can use when you're just getting started out, or if you're looking to tighten up your conversations so that you like to flow and transition smoothly. I like to have that nice little flow in there. Okay, so with that, guys, not going to keep everybody on too long. It is fun. It is Happy Friday today. If you are on our 12 noon internet marketing training series, I'll catch you guys on there. I am still working on the website. Our members are asking, are following along as we build that website together. So I'm going to start to organize it and put more content where it needs to be. So that's where we are right there. Hopefully the mic situation, you guys didn't go deaf. And I didn't Darth Vader your ears out today on a Friday. Enter the same thing for every, hold on. Bill here's got some good tips. Tell a story about a past client. If you don't have any personal stories or war stories or deal stories, you can reference the stories of other investors, okay, and share those as examples. Doesn't have to be something you dealt with, I know of, or here's a situation, or here are a couple of tenant buyers that have gone through the program, or other tenant buy. Again, reference third-party stories and the track record of your joint venture partners. That's part of the things they bring to the table that you can leverage. Definitely keep it consistent when you enter the information on there so that we can see it clearly. Steve, if we can do a call this afternoon, that would be awesome. And if you can hop on the call on Monday, that way we can do your interview script and get your YouTube channel launched as well with that nice little video. This has been helpful. Is there a possibility of doing this with a script for talking to sellers? Yes, there is. I can go into the script sometime next week, yeah. And in the meantime, is there one in the home buyer checklist? I know we had one on another session. We might have pulled it for some reason, but we can definitely do that with the seller side. All right. So I am gonna go get this video up and running and produced. Our tenant buyer video training on Craigslist. It says here, why didn't it save yet? All changes save. You're done. See, YouTube wants to pay you money. You know what I mean? Like, you can totally monetize this stuff. Your video will be published once it's done. Okay, so it's processing. We're up about 5% more. So you'll get the Craigslist walkthrough, and then this video is going to go live today on learntoinvestforfree.com as well. Thanks, everyone. We'll catch you first thing on Monday, or if not, if you're hanging out with us on 12 noon today, as I work on our website, I'll catch you on there. On behalf of Bill and Steve, thanks for hopping on, and I'll see you on the next live session. Bye-bye.